recorded 9 albums, sold millions of them worldwide, played live across the globe, there comes a time to look for new ideas. The one thing that keeps Bon Jovi fresh and full of musical energy is the band members' solo projects, which range from writing pop songs to painting pictures.
You encourage each other now more than ever to go and experience things so that when you come back, you have information to share. And so I'll go off and do what I'll do with this record, and having made a rather modern sounding record, and Richie I would guesstimate as making a rather organic record because of the guys he's playing with and the producer. So it's going to be two different viewpoints coming back into the band. And what Tico likes to do at this time is walk away from it. You know, he won't be playing. He won't be doing anything recording-wise. And now he's found something in art that's giving him an outlet. And Dave is doing a record currently with Dr. John. And so I know as a player he's going to learn a ton. He's writing for Dr. John. So I know that this time he's going to be able to bring back some information. So it's an exciting time to know that the future holds, you know, new things for us.
It's an exciting time for John with the release of his new solo album, Destination Anywhere, which takes him on a new musical journey.
Well, just the writing and the recording of it was greatly influenced by my time in England, you know, the time spent in London doing the film, and so it's obvious when you hear the record that, you know, there was something going on in my life. And sitting over there doing a film, not something I thought 10 years ago I'd be doing, starring in a movie and walking away from what was a huge tour to being by yourself in this little trailer in South London was a real liberating time. And so I wrote this batch of songs that was the catalyst for the record, with the idea that Destination Anywhere, this truly was what I was feeling in January '96. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere.
While she's holding on to her own hair, it's midnight in Chelsea. Midnight in Chelsea.
The album's first single is Midnight in Chelsea, which was written in an afternoon spent with some very special friends.
The story is while I was in London last year, and I was doing The Leading Man, Bruce Willis was in London doing a movie called The Fifth Element. And on a Sunday afternoon, he invited me to bring my family over, and he said, bring a guitar, because, you know, he plays harmonica. And he says he's going to invite some people over. One of them was Dave Stewart. He invited Prince Andrew and Fergie, and all these, like, people, and we're sitting around, and I'm going, this is pretty cool. I wish I had a picture of this, you know, this is very cool. And Dave, being the eccentric bohemian that he is, said, why don't we get together sometime and write a song? I said, I'm going to be here for 3 months. That'd be great. So as I continued my writing process, I called him up one day, and we got together. And I said, remember what we were playing over at Bruce's? I've got this, you know, lyric called Midnight in Chelsea. Why don't we work on that? So we knocked it out in the afternoon and demoed it. But, you know, Bruce introduced us, but Dave and I wrote this song.
With the release of Destination Anywhere, John wanted to capture the album both musically and visually, and the result of his ideas is now Destination Anywhere, the film.
I said, you know, I've got this idea. I want to make a movie based on an album, but there's no singing and playing in it. You know, and something like this, exactly like this, has never really been done. And at first I was saying, look, I'm going to make Purple Rain. But it turned into something else because I don't ever play. And it's not about a singer-songwriter. It's not a documentary or anything like that. It's a pure drama based on several of the songs with an all-star cast of Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon, and Bella Ciara. And everyone contributed their time and worked really hard to make this film.
Janie!
Well, look who's decided to grace us with his presence. My goodness.
Stop this.
What, you run out of money? Or is it Leo?
It ain't Leo. I came home for you. I came home for us. I'm here. I came home for you. Come on.
I wasn't going to hold anything safe or sacred. Anything could be thrown out the window and shot again. And the music was a challenge, and it was meant to be a challenge. The audience is going to be surprised by what they hear because it is pretty different. I hope that the folks that like our music will still like this, because it is part of that same journey. It's just a continuation of it, but it's not the same old, you know. I mean, I couldn't make the same old record.
During his time spent in England, John was regularly listening to music from upcoming bands, and this influenced the recording of Destination Anywhere.
Oasis was at its height, you know, while I was in England, and Pulp and Blur and the Manics. Those are records that we wouldn't have heard in America, you know, and they were on the radio here, and they were on the video here, and you read about them every day, and so you couldn't help but be influenced by the whole British invasion again, because now, you know, finally Britain was giving something back to America, which it hadn't done for a while.
As for playing live, well, it's not the same without his friends from Bon Jovi, but there's the odd special occasion where John is taken to the stage.
I'm not going to tour. No, I'm not going to tour. At least that's my intention, is to not tour. If I do anything, my dream would be to show the film, and as the credits are rolling, jump in and keep playing with it, and, you know, and play like 6 or 7 shows like that, and make it more of a fun evening than to do, you know, okay, yes, I'm going to be playing Wembley now and this one then, and if I do, you know, 6 or 7 shows like that, that'd be it.
Apart from his music, John Bon Jovi has been concentrating on his movie career, with roles in many major films.
The film thing is taking off. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Moonlight and Valentino was my first one, going on 3 years ago now, 2.5 years ago. And The Leading Man, of course, was shot in London and should be out sometime this year.
And Felix gets invited to so many of them these days.
Well, at least you got your time together at home.
Oh, not really, no.
And then I did something with Billy Bob Thornton and John Lithgow and Jamie Lee Curtis called Homegrown, where I play this dope dealer, and it's just a small part, but I'm in it. And we're currently filming a picture in New York called Long Time Nothing New with Eddie Burns, who did She's the One, and Brothers McMullen, and with Eddie, myself, and Lauren Holland.
We say we gotta hold on to what we got.
And John is finding that from performing live on stage to acting on the movie screen is quite an easy transition.
The similarities are that in every take of every scene, there's a collaboration between you and the actor. And then, of course, with, you know, the cameraman, the lightman, and the director, but really with the actors. That's very similar to being on stage with a band. You're collaborating. What's different is I didn't write it. I'm not directing it, you know, so therefore, you know, I'm not producing the record. And you give up complete control. You know, when you're done, you're done. Next time you see it is if you got $7 to go to the theater. So it's interesting, but it's also exciting because it's new.
Just like sticks, tree licks with a beat up six.
A band, a solo career, a movie career, and a happily married father. John Bon Jovi really has a lot of talent. But does he feel he has 2 jobs now as a singer and an actor?
No, I've always just considered myself an entertainer, and, you know, this is just a way for me to express myself differently. That's all, you know. It wasn't any master plan or anything, you know, that smart. It was just a way to not turn in a record every 9 months, you know. It's a way to go out and do something in the arts to broaden, and why not, you know, take a shot. Why just sit comfortably on the success of the records? You got to challenge yourself all the time.
The main question everyone asks when members of a band do solo projects is, are they splitting up? For Bon Jovi, it only makes them stronger.
It was always our intention, even during last summer's tour, to take a couple years now for Richie to do another solo record and for him to do an extensive tour. And for me to do a record, because I'm continually writing, but to not tour and to pursue the films in order for us to come back with different pieces of information to write new songs about. Because as wonderful as all the experiences are and all the great big tours and the records that we have, you're always living day to day with each other with the same experiences. There's nothing new to talk about. And we found that after my doing Young Guns and Richie doing Stranger in this town, there was something new which created Keep the Faith. I venture to say that, that'll happen again now.
And don't worry if you can't catch John on tour this time, as Bon Jovi plan to carry on right up to the year 2000.
I'm planning on it. Oh yeah, and we have already had plenty of New Year's offers. Tokyo, London. I think the Stones have Wembley Stadium on hold, don't they? Yeah, both Wembley Arena and Tokyo, I know, have offered us things. Do I feel I'm famous? Yeah. We've achieved quite a bit. That I know I can play a stadium in Bombay or London or New Jersey is wildly exceeded my dreams. To think that 15 years after writing Runaway I'd still be here, that's wildly exceeded my dreams. I've been really blessed. I don't know what I did right, but in the last life, or I got to pay for it in the next life, one or the other. But I've been very lucky.